on this 50-point inspection, once again I have John Anile here visiting me at my home. I'm Scottish now. I picked up John Anile disease.
And now we're looking at the Boulevard proper pour, thanks to miscellaneous.
That's more Irish.
Oh.
So yeah, the proper pour. This is an imperial stout, double barrel aged in port wine and whiskey barrels. So speaking of Scotland and Ireland, whiskey. Although there is an E which makes it American.
Strange.
American whiskey. But yeah, appreciation to Miscellaneous goes out because he did give me a fantastic box of Boulevard. It's like a box of chocolates, but much better. Yeah, much better. This comes in at 12.5%.
Nice.
This is one of the lower ABVs out of the Boulevard pack. It's a limited release from 2022, and the little neck label is starting to come off. Apparently, it does not like dampness, but yeah.
So Boulevard Brewing
Have you had
Company,
this one?
I have not. I've had a lot of stuff from Boulevard. They're awesome. Their barrel aged stuff is really incredible, and they are out of Kansas City, Missouri. We do get some of their stuff up here. I've seen a couple of their beers,
Not New Hampshire,
but
in
not
Mass.
in mass. And when I was down in Georgia, I used to buy their stuff all the time. Although I was limited because of the ABV restrictions down in Georgia, and a lot of the Boulevard stuff is like 14% plus. This one, although it clocks in at 12.5. So yeah, proper. Let's get a proper pour on this. What do you think?
And with the limited space,
Right.
I can't present the bottle the entire time, so that's what it
That's what it
does
looks
look
like. Screenshot.
Screenshot.
Yay.
You poured the last one. I'll pour this one.
Thank you, sir.
Small hiss off the pop of the cap. It's only a 12-ounce bottle, so I do have to try to.
Yeah, that's probably
Figure
good
it out.
right there. Yeah. Ooh. It's a good looking, and you know what? Even though it's a 12.5, it does have a nice little dark tan head, very small head, and the appearance. BuMpY got a bigger head than I did. BuMpY always gets more head
Yeah,
than me.
fairly evenly poured though.
Nice.
Not bad for a guesstimation.
Oh yeah, the barrel stuff with I almost said Bourbon County. With Boulevard.
No colors in the reservoir. Maybe a slight hue of mahogany red. So we'll go with the dark brown to black, but
It is
closer
definitely
to black.
barrel forward for sure. All
Yeah.
the Boulevard stuff like this is.
It's got a good mix of both. It's got that wine, that port wine. I do get like something that kind of reminds me of dark cherry, deep dark grape.
Definitely some dark cherry, a little bit of
Wood.
fig and date, like dark fruit in there.
And then there is a bit of that kind of whiskey to bourbon-esque, a little bit of vanilla mix in.
One thing about the Boulevard stuff that I've had, if you love barrel aged stuff, you're gonna love this type of thing. But they don't shy away from that kind of thing. It definitely smells boozy. Not like it's
It's
necessarily.
only 12.5%.
I know, but it smells like.
Yeah, I think
Wine,
I think they
it
get
smells like
they get
port, it
so
smells
much
like
of the
bourbon.
barrel note in there that if you're familiar with drinking higher ABV like liquors,
If you've ever had a tawny port, that's what this smells like. A port wine.
slight chocolate note, not overly chocolate, but there's a little bit of a
A
chocolate.
little bit, yeah. God, this smells so good. This is my. I think I feel like I like this kind of stuff more than you typically,
Yeah,
because we've talked about like the barrel aged stuff and some of the barrel aged products that you've had over the years. You find them to be too strong. I feel like maybe this might be too much for you. I don't know. We
I don't
haven't
think so.
we haven't tasted the beer yet, but I will say that on the aroma, the barrel presence with this is outstanding. You get the port wine barrels, you get the whiskey. It smells.
they're separate.
Boozy.
They're separate but blended. They come
Yes.
they come together, like you get both of them at the same time, but you can tell the difference between the two barrels. To me, this smells like if you had like a platter, okay, so you had this fancy dish, you had some dark cherries on there with the stems, maybe some raisins,
definitely dark fruit,
or prunes.
Look at that.
There could be a little bit of apricot in there too, I would say. But then you take all those fruits, you put them on the platter, and then you take chocolate and you just drizzle it over the top, because it's not like an overly done chocolate. It is like the fruit notes come up first, and then there's a chocolate drizzle.
I definitely get the chocolate. With me, the thing on the aroma that really stands out is the port wine type thing, the tawny port, and then the chocolate's there, the dark fruit, and the bourbon barrels. It's all there.
Yeah, nice.
It's boozy. There's no hiding.
There's an oakiness.
There's an oakiness.
From the
There's
barrels.
no hiding the fact that this is a double barrel aged beer. If you're not used to this kind of thing, you're probably going to be turned off to it immediately, because it's very boozy and liquor-like on the nose with the notes. But I think that they did a good job with it. And excuse me, and for people like us that like this kind of thing, I feel like it's going to be right up our alley.
Did you swirl it yet?
I did the. Yeah.
So it kind of dies out a little bit, but then when you swirl it, and it does bring up more.
The dark fruit, particularly.
Yeah, the aromas and stuff kind of like they enhance almost. It's like building a ladder, going up the
amazing
staircase to heaven.
Raisin, fig, date, the dark fruit, a little bit of tobacco, like you get with a Bourbon County.
I'm getting a little bit of an off flavor.
An off flavor? I'm not. But what do you mean when you say that?
It tastes almost like it's oxidized fruit a little bit to me.
Oh.
It's kind of a boxy type taste.
Chocolate, raisin,
This is my
fig,
first.
date.
This is the first time I've had a Boulevard that has given me something that I wasn't like, wow. There's great notes, because you before mentioned a lot of the notes, but then there was something in there on the tail end, going towards the finish. It's actually more like the middle to the finish, and it just lingers on for me. But
yeah, I'm getting prune and date and fig and raisin. Look at the head region when I swirl it around. I'm getting tobacco, which I rarely get with these types of beers. The best of the best have the tobacco notes. This one definitely has it for me, so this is up there with the Bourbon County already for me. The double barrel bourbon thing is definitely coming through. You're getting the charred oak, you're getting a little bit of caramel toffee notes.
there is a coffee.
Okay, coffee. I'm not getting coffee so much right now, because when I think of coffee, I think of bitterness. I'm not getting any bitterness.
I'm getting bitterness. I'm getting coffee bitterness. I'm also getting this kind of cardboardy box flavor, all mixed in with that.
I'm not getting the cardboardy or the coffee right now. Yeah. And we'll keep sipping on it. And this is probably...
Different people have different palates.
Yeah.
I might be more sensitive. Like, I pick up metallic notes a lot. No, you did get a metallic out of
with the other one. Yeah, too. Definitely not getting that with this particular beer.
I'm not getting a metallic note, but...
Yeah. This is good. This would be like sipping on the back porch type of thing with a good cigar, or, some really good cheese.
Yeah, it is. For me, the biggest fruit note that I have is like black cherry. So and then kind of like a fig.
For me, the fig is definitely there, but I'm not getting any cherry. I'm getting more of a date, prune, raisin, probably more. I think raisin, and then the tobacco. I'm getting tobacco with this. What is the ABV on this?
12.5.
Yeah,
it drinks heavier than a 12.5 for me for the flavor profile.
I wouldn't say that it does alcohol-wise, but it's boozy. I don't know. This is a tough one, because this is the kind of stuff that I'm used to drinking. So if you've never had a 12.5% barrel-aged type of beer like this, I think you're going to drink it. You're probably going to be disgusted by it. It's a very complex, drinking experience, there's a lot there. The double barrel thing kind of really comes into play. The dark chocolate. I can see a little bit of the cherry in there now that you mention it, but that's not something that I would have initially gone for. I find that maybe there's a little bit of stone fruit, but the majority of the fruit flavors are dark fruit. Your date, your fig, your plum, your raisin, that type of thing. And there's a little bit of a sweet yellow tobacco type of note for me, which is very similar to some of the Bourbon County stuff that
I'd say a slight oakiness on the flavor. It's
the
not,
woody.
It's not
notes.
super pronounced.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. There is a
This is really good.
like this is like a medium body to me, and it does have.
I would say this is a heavy body.
You think it's heavy?
Yeah.
I think it's more medium to me, but
it's interesting because you're getting,
it's more liquid, but it dries the palate out a lot.
It does, but it's thick. I would say because of the complexity of it.
Carbonation.
The carbonation is kind of, I mean, it's there, but it's not like significant in my opinion. It's like a fine, effervescent little, it's not flat like you get with a lot of stouts. For instance, this is not a stout, but, well, I guess it is. Is it?
Yeah.
It is a stout. But I'm honestly surprised at the amount of carbonation for a double barrel age, for something that's been sitting in a barrel for so long and that's been aging and developing. I am a little surprised that the carbonation has withheld itself and is as much as it is. But yeah, this is really good. This is up there for me. I like the booziness. I like the barrel aged notes. If you're into that kind of thing, I feel like you're going to get a ton of complexity, a ton of notes. You could sit here for hours and probably pick out 200 different flavors if that's what you're into. I like this a lot.
Well, I
really like this.
I think I'm ready to go ahead and start scoring.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think we're gonna have different scores in this.
I think we are for this, but I'm digging this.
All right,
let's do it.
Got my board.
Yeah, okay.
So ready to put down the inspection scores. For the appearance, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 6. From my aromatics, decent. I mean, you're picking up on both barrels. It is kind of like they're mixed together, but you can separate them. It's decent. I just don't think it's, like I mentioned, like swirling it and stuff. It kind of opens it up a bit more, but you have to kind of keep doing that for me. So I'm at an 8 out of 10 for the aromatics. On the flavor, it's got good malt flavor to it. The hops are decent. They don't distract. I think they're kind of doing what they do. There is a bitterness at the tail end for this beer for me, but it's just, I don't know. There's like a bit of an off flavor in there. It tastes a little bit oxidized, a little bit cardboardy. And then just, I think maybe the carbonation for me is a bit too much. I would like it to be like a lower carbonation, just to give it more of a softer mouthfeel. And the aftertaste, I get that lingering kind of cardboardiness. There may even be a touch of a metallic note in there for me. I'm at a 15 out of 19 for the flavors. The body, I was kind of feeling this one was like a medium body. It's wet. It is drying to the palate. I would like to see like a fuller, more viscous and softer palate with the body. So I'm at a 4 out of 5. And my overall in this one, I'm basing this off of the other Boulevards I've had, and yeah, this one's just not knocking it out of the park for me. I'm at a 7 out of 10, which is still decent. I score a lot of beers for my overall anywhere between the 7 and 8 range typically. So for the BuMpY score, it's going to get a 40 out of 50, and this is the proper pour from Boulevard. 40 out of 50. We're just going to land this as a good beer.
And we actually disagreed about this beer a lot. I found that this beer had a much better complexity and body and flavor and overall than BuMpY did. The appearance, we were spot on. The aroma, I gave it a 10 out of 10. He gave it an 8. The flavor, I gave it an 18 out of 19. He gave it a 15. And the body, I gave 5 out of 5. And overall, my overall was a 9. I didn't pick up the metallic type notes that he was picking up on. I picked up on a nice complexity. There was a lot of dark fruit notes. I picked up on that tobacco thing that we mentioned earlier, which I get with world-class beers like Bourbon County. I found that this had a lot of that. So the dark fruit in conjunction with the barrel aging type notes, the sweet tobacco, and the just the mouthfeel and the overall presentation and finish of this beer. I gave it a overall 9, and my total score came out to a 47 out of 50 versus a 40 out of 50 for BuMpY. So that would put the 47 would put it at a very an excellent beer. So I'm very pleased with this beer.
Yeah, I still want to appreciate Miscellaneous for gifting me this beer, and I'm sure John's very appreciative of it.
I
as
am
well.
very appreciative. I'm appreciative for you, you, for sharing this with me, because Miscellaneous didn't send the beer to me. He sent it to you.
That's right.
But we love you either way, Miscellaneous.
But yeah, I just want to say cheers to Miscellaneous. Cheers to John Anile. Cheers to all of you for watching. Appreciate it. You can find a link to Miscellaneous' channel right
Where my head is.
there. Cheers, John.
Cheers. We'll see you on the next one.